Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of We're Screwed. I am your host, horror author James Hershey Jr., and with me, as always, my co-host, old boy James Ash, and Andy Andrews. How y'all doing?
Doing good, man.
Pretty good. Good.
All right, first topic that we'll talk about tonight is probably going to be controversial, but that's kind of what we do. I want to talk about Iran. Iran just launched another major attack against Israel, like 200-some missiles. I think the overwhelming majority of them were shot down by Israel and the United States. I don't know if any got through or not. They're saying that one might have killed a Palestinian or something. So, whatever. Basically, what I want to talk about is I think it's about time we get rid of Iran. I'm about sick and tired of these assholes. It seems like we always got some kind of issue with them. With the Middle East in general, it's just a shit show over there, man. Those people, they've been fighting for thousands of years, and that's all they know how to do. They're not civilized human beings. They're a bunch of fucking savages. And I, for one, am really sick and tired of dealing with their dumbasses. Everybody's all free Palestine now. That's like the thing that all the Libbies are doing. Oh, free Palestine, fuck Palestine, man. Do you know that Palestine is so bad, the Palestinians are so bad that not even the Arabs want them? None of the surrounding Arab states will allow Palestinians in their countries. Egypt built a fucking wall to keep them out. That's how bad these people are. So I got no sympathy for those idiots. If they stop attacking Israel, they wouldn't be getting their ass kicked. But we're talking about Iran right now. Iran is a sponsor of terrorism. They're constantly attacking Israel. They're behind Hezbollah. They're behind Hamas. And enough's enough. I don't understand why we keep playing with these people. We're the strongest country on the planet. Everybody's all worried, we got to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. We got to make some kind of treaty with them, some kind of agreement with them. Why? Let's just go over there and blow the shit out of them. Let's do that. We know where their facilities are. Let's just go blow them the hell up. Problem solved. No more nuclear weapons because we blow them the hell up. They don't have one yet. So it's not like they can shoot it at us. So let's blow the damn facilities up. Let's blow their entire military capability to hell. And while we're at it, let's drop some bombs on a palace or wherever the hell the leadership lives. Fuck them. I'm tired of messing with these idiots, man. Every damn time I turn around, it's some Middle Eastern country or some damn terrorist group causing a bunch of fucking trouble. It ain't never going to be better. And you guys can pretend that like these people are civilized people and like they deserve respect and all that bullshit. It ain't true. They're fucking savages. All they know how to do is fight and kill people. You can't make any kind of agreement with them because they don't keep their word. And they're just constantly going to start trouble. They're never going to stop. So the only way to deal with that is just to solve the fucking problem. And I know to a lot of people, you might be going, oh my God, what are we going to do? That's terrible. You can't talk like that. I don't care, man. Why are we continually dealing with these idiots? Why? It makes no sense. If you're the biggest guy in the bar and some little pipsqueak idiot keeps coming up and starting trouble, and he ain't but 3 foot tall, he's a little tiny punk, he's a little skinny, he's nothing. But he keeps coming up and slapping people and hitting people and kicking people and biting people. And you keep stopping him. You keep saying, listen, you got to behave your damn self. You can't act like this, you little shit. You got to stop it. You're an angry little dwarf. You got to behave yourself. You keep doing that. And then they'll pretend for a minute, I'll be good. Then you turn your back and the son of a bitch goes and bites somebody else. At what point do you just go, bam, and just bitch slap the ever-loving hell out of them? If you want to stop Iran, destroy Iran. I'm not talking about nuke the shit out of them where there's nothing left, but I mean take out all of their infrastructure, take out their military ability, take out their nuclear weapons plant, take out their oil fields, take out their leadership. Dude, we can do that, and we can do that in a weekend. Remember when we took on Iraq? Literally, like in a weekend, we were in Baghdad. It would be that easy with Iran, too. Just fuck them up. Teach them a damn lesson. Teach them that they're not going to be messing with us, and they're not going to be messing with Israel. They want to keep acting stupid. They want to keep chanting death to America and acting all big and bad. They want to pick a fight. Let's give them a fucking fight. I don't care anymore. I'm sick and tired of these weak-ass people constantly starting shit and hurting people. And we let them get away with it. And there's no sense in it. There's no damn sense in it because they can't do a damn thing to stop us if we decide to take them out. So why haven't we? Like I said, a lot of you people probably ain't got the stomach for that kind of talk anymore. But do you honestly believe that our grandfather's generation would have put up with this nonsense from Iran? Do you think General Patton would have sat back and allowed that shit to happen? No, he'd have been like, let's go. Let's invade. Let's attack. Let's take them out. Enough of the bullshit. I guarantee you start taking out some of these countries, they're running their damn mouths all the time and acting stupid and attacking innocent people and hurting people. You start doing something about it, you watch how quick the world gets real peaceful like. Because that's the only way to actual peace is through strength. Right now, they look at America and they think we're a bunch of pussies because we're run by a bunch of pussies. We don't even know if they're a man or a woman. It's time to get serious again and stop the bullshit. Because y'all going to fuck around and they are going to get a nuclear weapon. And they're going to be able to use it. And believe me, once they get one that they can use, they will use it. They will wipe Israel right off the fucking map. They're just itching to do it. Enough's enough. There's no reason why we have to constantly tolerate these little pissant countries in the Middle East starting shit. We shouldn't have to. Everybody calls us the policemen of the world. We're the strongest country. We're the only superpower left. That's what they always say. And it's up to us to provide security for everybody. Well, then let's actually do it. If we're going to be responsible for making sure that this shit doesn't go on, then let's do our job. I'm just tired of it. It's ridiculous. I'm tired of the nonsense. I'm tired of the damn lies. Constant lies. Pretending like these people are good people. They're not. They are not. You have these liberal idiots in this country walking around protesting. These pro-Palestinian people. Do you have any idea what they would do to you if you were there? The most hilarious thing I've ever seen is gays for Palestine. They will throw you off a fucking building. That's what they do to gay people over in the Middle East. They will kill you. Because what you're doing is wrong in their eyes. You think you get upset when a Christian tells you that that's against the Bible, that it's a sin. You try that shit over there. You go over to Iran. You go over to one of these Muslim countries and you cornhole your buddy and see what the hell happens to you. They will literally take you to the top of a building and throw your gay ass off. That's what they do. They are against everything that you pretend to stand for. But yet, you're out there marching like morons. I guarantee you 95% of you can't even find fucking Palestine on a map. You have no idea what you're even talking about. But yet, you are chanting from the river to the sea. Do you even know what that means? That means the complete eradication of Israel. Every man, woman, and child dead. That's what that means. And you're chanting it. So don't get your panties in a bundle when I tell you that we ought to go over there and kick the shit out of Iran. My foreign policy idea is any country like that over in the Middle East that gets uppity and starts running their mouth and acting stupid, we just destroy them. Oh, really? You want to start some shit? Guess what? You don't have a fucking military anymore. It's gone. What happened to your beautiful palace that you built? Oh, it's gone. You'd like to rebuild it, wouldn't you? Oh, sorry, you ain't got no fucking money because your oil fields are gone. Everything's gone. I would say bomb them back to the Stone Age, but them son of a bitches, most of them already lived there. This is not a civilized area. But you can take out their infrastructure. You can take out their capability to make war. And if these people want to martyr themselves so bad, I say give them a hand. Introduce them to God. Let him sort it out. So that's my thought on it. I'll throw over to old boy or Andy and see what they think.
I'll take it. The problem is, now, if they attack Israel, they deserve everything they get. I'm sorry, I have to agree with James on that. We don't have to worry about Iran doing something. The problem is you got to worry about China and Russia doing something back to us. That's the problem because they're friends with Iran, and they're the ones who are going to give them the missiles in the first place. We're not the only superpower left. China is exactly this, almost the same as we are, especially with money. That's what the problem is. It would start World War III. I agree, but that's the other issue. Iran's not the issue. It's who their allies are, Russia and China. It would start World War III, and China can do something back to us, and so can Russia, and we would just end the world, or probably most of us would die. And that's why we haven't done it. I get, but the thing is, when you're saying that Iran's going to do that, if Iran's stupid enough to shoot a nuke at Israel has their own, and they'll destroy us. And I don't want that. Trust me, I don't want anybody getting killed, because any nukes is going to affect the world. People don't realize that. You shoot a nuke, it's still going to get in the atmosphere. It's still going to harm everyone. It's everybody around there is going to be affected. The problem is Israel's in the Middle East, so they would be affected with any kind of nuclear problems. And I'm just saying, it's the truth. A lot of these people don't know what they're really protesting about. That's one thing I will agree with. Going around smashing up colleges because they're getting told this bullshit that Israel's bad, and they did all this stuff, and they've captured, and they're torturing because of the propaganda that's going on. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Israel's innocent, but October 7th happened. Or I think that's when it happened. That did happen, and they didn't just kill regular Jews. They killed people at this festival that weren't even Jewish. They just didn't give a damn. And then when Israel struck back, they cried about it, and a lot of people got pissed off. And Iran, I think they hit a couple things, and Israel's already threatening to retaliate, and people are worried about it because they're not really worried about Iran. They're worried about China and Russia are going to get involved, and that's where we do have to worry about it. I agree with you're saying, just like North Korea, that we would have dealt with them already. The problem is China keeps sticking up for them, and so does Russia. And they can do something back to us, just so people know that their military is almost on our levels. And if we have two of them against us, it's not going to be, we might not, World War III will happen. And I think it's going to. I'm sorry to tell people this. I want people to start realizing this. We're headed to that. It doesn't matter what happens or who does what. It's coming. Somebody's going to be stupid enough to shoot a nuke off or some kind of missile, and all hell's going to break loose. And it's going to probably be because of the Middle East, which is one thing I can't agree with James. That's probably where it's going to start there. And probably Russia. Something with Russia's coming, because I don't know if you read, they were flying around by Alaska a day or two ago, stupidly doing whatever, and we threatened them to quit doing it because they were being unsafe. How they were doing, first they were just acting stupid, and we said something, don't do it again. And it's coming. it may not happen any now, right at this moment, but World War III is inevitable. I don't care what anybody says; it's coming. Next 5 years, I'm not going to be surprised. Maybe even less. I'll agree. James probably be 24 months. It's coming. We're already technically, if you look at it, we're on the brink of it. I mean, look at all the wars are going on. It's just going to be a matter of time till China invades Taiwan, and it's going to even be worse because we're going to get involved. It's coming. It's going to be, like James said, a lot of these people who are saying Palestine, if they went to Palestine, I'm not saying everyone, because there's some people who wouldn't, but there's people who's going to kill you because you're gay. I'm sorry to tell you this. It has nothing to do with what you are. They just don't see. If you don't believe in what they believe, most of the time they'll try to force it on you or they'll kill you. Not everyone. There's a lot of fanatics out there. That's why especially in Iran. I mean, they showed it. They try to do a parade there, gay, and they start beating the shit out of them, chasing them out of there in Lebanon. It's a different world in Iran. Iran hates America. We're their enemy. If you ever see any of the videos and propaganda that they have, we're the big demon devils and we're evil and we're the ones who are bad. You know, that's just how they propaganda us. And Iran's never been, they've always had an issue with us. It started with the Olympics and all that back in the 70s. They hate us. If they could blow us up, and they would be, I totally agree. That's another thing I'm agreeing with James are. They wish they could destroy the America altogether. And I don't care what anybody says. I gotta agree with James. I know that's going to be surprise a lot of people, but if Iran wanted us gone, they would not feel bad if we got nuked. And they would love to be the ones to do it. And he's right. If they get a nuclear weapon, they're going to do something stupid with it. If they don't already have it, they could be saying they don't, James, but I believe that Russia and China has already given them something, or they're already starting to build it. They're going to give it to them anyway. They already said they were going to. It's going to be inevitable for them to get a nuclear weapon. They're going to be stupid enough to use it because they think Russia and China are going to back them, and they probably will. We're going to end up in some kind of conflict soon. And it doesn't look too well because the way weapons are becoming now, a lot of people use drones. I don't know if you see, they chase you around with drones. They can drop weapons now. They can drop ammo, supplies. They could just kill you. And that's going to be what they do now. A lot of people just send drones in, like thousands of drones, and drop these little bombs and use weapon bullets and stuff. And that's what they're doing a lot in the Ukraine and Russia war. They're both using that kind of technology. That's why it's going to be very hard to fight a war anymore without having some kind of new technology to stop these drones, because these drones I've been watching are very deadly and very accurate and very cheap to make. That's the new way people are fighting wars, sending people in. Yes, you're always going to have that, but they do a lot of damage, man. That's what Iran originally started when they first attacked Israel, is they sent those drones in. And I've seen how they were made, and they're pretty getting to the point where they can do anything with these things. You know, people better start worrying, because they don't have to send the cops after you. They could just send those drones to kill you. You know, just getting off of that subject, but it's the truth. These things are deadly. I don't know if you guys seen them, but I saw them flying around, dropping it on the Russian. The guy was running around the tank, and that damn thing killed him. They show a lot of stuff on. People are. I don't know why it's getting released that they're showing this kind of stuff, but they're showing it how these drones are killing people, and it's actually an effective way to fight a war, because it's really giving Russia a real problem right now, and that's why they're having the issues like they are. They're in a stalemate. They're winning, but they have a lot more casualties, and they didn't think this war is going to be this long, and it is, because we've been getting involved in it, and other countries have been getting involved in it. And I do have to agree with a lot of James saying, with what, you know, maybe not as harsh, but if we go in there and do that, we'll look like the bad guy. It doesn't matter. I know there's issues on that, and we will always look like the bad guy. And that's why other countries will betrayed us. But that's the issue. China and Russia will stick their nose in that. If we go and we did anything to Iran, they're going to try to do something back to us. And that's the issue. They're allied with us, because in reality, they want us gone. Except China, because they make a lot of money from us. A lot of people don't realize China's kind of in the middle of this. Yeah, they don't like us, but they also know there's a lot of money in the United States, and they have a lot of money in the United States, and it kind of puts them in a middle where, yeah, they're with these countries, but these countries ain't bringing the money we are. And they know there's money. People are not stupid. Money means everything right now. Russia doesn't bring the money the United States does. The United States isn't here. China doesn't make any money. And that's what really runs the world, guys, is money. And that's what always going to run the world. And that's why it's kind of it's a bad situation being a big country being involved in any of this, because you have a lot of money with different countries that you may not be allies of the country you're fighting against, or they might be allies, or they might be trading money in, and that's what the problem is, and that's why they have a lot of issues with that. But I do agree with some of what James says, but there's stuff that there would be consequences if we did that, and that's just the truth. Something would retaliate, and you got to remember that we don't know who's over here in this country right now. There would be retaliation one way or another, and that's why I was saying it just be another mess that like Israel's in, and that's what I don't want to see happening. But I think that's going to happen anyway. So I think it's going to end up that way. We're going to end up have to dealing with Iran eventually, and I see it happening. So I kind of agree that's going to happen anyway, James. We're going to end up attacking them because they're going to do something stupid and shoot something of ours, and then we're just going to end up doing it and not giving a fuck. But then there's going to be consequences to that, and that's the only thing I'm worried. I don't want a World War III. I don't think anybody here wants a World War III. But that being said, that's all I have to say. Go ahead, Andy.
Let me say something real quick before I throw over to Andy. I want to answer what Old said real quick. I'm not worried about Russia. Russia can barely handle Ukraine. Yes, Russia has nuclear weapons, but Russia's dealing with technology that is still Cold War technology. They are so far behind us technologically with their military. We could whoop Russia's ass easily. The only thing Russia has is nuclear weapons, if they even still work. Who knows? You know what I mean? Russia is not. They don't want that smoke. Russia's not going to go to war with us over Iran. They're just not. They know they'll get their ass kicked. Okay? China is not going to go to war with us over Iran either. Because if all we have to do to stop China is outlaw their products in our country, that destroys China's economy. Then you got a Great Depression going on in China. They're not fighting a war when they ain't got no money no more. Their own people will start uprising because they don't have no food. They make the majority of their cash off us. So all we have to do is cut off that spigot, and they ain't doing shit. So they're not going to risk that over Iran. They might bluster and talk shit, but neither one of those countries are going to do shit. You know what I mean? And Russia, all we have to do to stop Russia is just produce our own oil again, start drilling again. I mean, Russia was in bad economic shape when Trump was in office because we were drilling. We had a surplus of oil. We were energy independent. We were supplying a lot of oil to Europe. That's where Russia makes all their money. You know, so we can handle both of those countries very easily without a war. They're not going to fuck with us. Iran, we could take out. Now, the one point that old boy brought up that is brilliant and that I forgot to bring up and I want to talk about is the fact that we have probably a lot of terrorists already here in the country. And that's because of the open border. That's because of the bullshit that Biden and Harris have done over this last 4 years of letting like 20 million fucking people in here. So I guarantee you he's right about that there are terrorists in this country just waiting, sleeper cells waiting to attack us. But also, that's going to happen regardless. You know, we can't allow bullshit to be going on in the world just because we're afraid that they've got people in our country. You know, that's why what Trump is talking about with this deportation is very important. We got to get these fucking people out of here. They shouldn't be here. They're not supposed to be here. We don't know who most of them are. Get them the fuck out of our country. That's got to happen. But I'm not concerned about Russia. I'm not concerned about China for the reasons that I just gave. Go ahead, Andy.
Well, we also got to think, man, that economically, we're not doing the best. Many countries aren't doing the best. So what makes the money? You know what I'm saying? War. War makes the money. But this whole thing with the whole thing, man, that started. I mean, yes, the October 7th thing is what got it kind of booted up again. But I mean, back after World War I, Britain took over that area. And what it come down to was the Arabs pretty much wanted the whole place, and they wanted to give, the Jewish and the Arabs were both supposed to share this country. And the Arabs didn't want to do that. So that's how Israel kind of came to be. But the thing is, man, it just comes down just like the gays over there. They definitely do, man. I mean, old boy said, they don't like it because of this or that. No, they literally, man, kill every single one of them if they know that you're gay. They don't give them a chance to do shit. They've thrown them off buildings. They've cut their heads off right in the middle of the street. I mean, they, like Ross, matter of fact, him and I were talking about this. And, they literally went out into the, I guess you would call it the desert, but what we would say rural, I guess, and held guys. They made these guys tear down their own church brick by or stone by stone, and held guns on them, killed a couple of them, stuff like that, man. But you don't hear any of that stuff, but it's gonna get bad. And Hershey, you can shake your head yes or no on this one, but if we would happen to go into a war, would that also maybe keep from us having an election and keeping the current one in? I wasn't sure about that. I was thinking about that today, but anyway, yeah, I know that we're already part of it. We're already headed over there. Drone strikes have been going on since probably Bush, I guess. Obama was huge. I mean, he screwed up a lot of drone strikes, but anyway, that's a whole nother story. But regardless, this comes down pretty much to a Jewish and Arab situation. They do not want, it's religious, man. It comes down to religion and stuff like that. That's what it's been. Power. Which one of them thinks that, Israel thinks that, well, I mean, Israel is, I mean, Jerusalem and stuff is, the Holy Land or whatever you want to call it. But, and then you got the other side who, they want to call it something else, so they want to call it their Holy Land, but it goes back and forth and back and forth. But it just comes down to is you got a lot, just like you said, James, they're just fucking nuts, man. They're crazy. They are still living in caves and living, in, nothing modern, really. I mean, yeah, they have rockets and stuff like that and everything else. But the thing is, we are so technologically advanced over top of them that we could go into Palestine, Iran, and we could knock them out without hurting too many innocent people, if any at all. And that's what I think we should do. I 110% agree with that. You kick them where it hurts, man, for a good while. You take them out. I mean, we've done it pretty much already a couple times, you know what I'm saying, in history with other people and stuff like that. But, what gets me is like you're saying, these people that are out there that are pro-Palestine, and what, living in where I live at, the square where I work at, where my office is, in Gettysburg, is used for quite a bit of, people getting together. I've seen, it was pretty cool. One the other day was actually Native Americans got together, and they were very peaceful and doing stuff like that. And I was checking them out, then they had, it's just been different ones, man. Obviously they got the Trumpsters and they got the Harrisers and all that stuff going on. But I started noticing one day they had the pro-Palestine kids that came from the college, And they've been pushing, you know, I don't want to say they're pushing it, but they've been going with the college, parts of the college have been pushing the whole trans and gay thing to where, like, the person who won, I think it was Miss Gettysburg, was not a miss. You know what I'm saying? And people were getting pretty, that became pretty heated. I didn't agree with it either, you know. If you want to have a trans beauty contest and say Miss Trans Gettysburg or something like that, or Trans Gettysburg, then go for it. I don't, you know, but anyhow, it's a whole different subject. But the thing was, when that was going on, and I seen people out there that were, you know, protesting that, you know, for the trans people and gay people. Also, when the Pride Day was in their weekend, I knew, like, they would come into the store. Most of the time when they have anything on the square, they'll come in and let us know, hey, we're going to be doing this, blah, blah, blah. And the two people that came into the store to let me know what date the Pride Festival was, they were leading the pro-Palestine, you know, thing. And that's where I'm coming from, man. It's like, are you all really serious? Do you really know? And that's the thing, man. Nobody has really given me any kind of sufficient reason behind it, because what only thing I've heard is how they're taking out, you know, on October 7th, they took out whatever they did and, you know, took hostages. And then, you know, Israel went back and did what Israel did, what you would think would happen. And I guess they're saying they've killed more innocent and more people than Iran did. What does that matter, man? You know, they attack them all the time. And now Israel's actually taken up for themselves, you know, and here we go. And I'm really surprised, man, that we're even getting involved, because, you know, I just don't trust who we have in office right now to do anything, you know, for the right side, if that makes sense, you know. And I know a lot of people are going to say bullshit that, you know, they're on the Palestinian side or Iran side and stuff like that. Well, give me a good, legit reason why you are. If it comes down to head count of casualties, that's, to me, not valid whatsoever. I mean, it's just like one human life taken is bad enough, but you can't expect for somebody to go into their country and take that many innocent people out and not have retaliation. And that was one of the arguments I heard these people having with them, was that, you know, oh, they're taking out innocent kids and children and stuff like that in Israel, or Israel's doing that to Iran. Well, what do you think was at this concert? You know what I mean? What was at this festival? I mean, you just think it was, you know, government officials and stuff like that? No. And I agree. I think we should go in there, and I think that we should pinpoint. And I'm sorry, I know there's collateral damage, you know, with war, but what I would like to see is us, and I'm sure we have the technology that we can definitely go in there and take out what needs to be taken out without, you know, I'm almost pretty dead set to think that we could, that the only casualties of women and children would be the ones that were with the ones that we were bombing, you know, their families or whatever. But I still think we'd probably even give them an opportunity to get them out of there. But they haven't done it before. I mean, look at when we went in for bin Laden. You know what I'm saying? He had a room full of kids and, you know, everything else. And he should have, I mean, yeah, he didn't know we were coming. But the thing is, if you're going to be a, you know, fugitive as such, you would think that, you know, yeah, surround yourself with people that, you know, kind of blend in, but not women and children, man. It's like, they have no respect for them. I mean, obviously, we already know that. But, yeah, we need to take care of it. That's why we need to become energy independent again. That's why we need to be drilling. We need to cut off any kind of we need to be self-sufficient as a country and not rely on other countries out here to supply us with, our gas, our oil. I just can't understand all the deep water drilling and all these places down in Texas and all these places that were doing all this drilling for oil and stuff like that and whatnot, and the oil fields in Texas. And why do we need to go broke buying the shit off of somebody else? That's what I don't understand. What are those reserves for? You know what I mean? Are we going to run out? They're afraid we're going to get cut off and we're going to run out. And I mean, I don't know how many years and years and years of what we have down there already. And, the Bushes, they were pretty much big owners, and stuff like that. But, one of them's gone. The other one, I always got a kick out of Bush Jr., man. I always thought he was hilarious to just listen to and watch and stuff like that. But I never looked at him as being like a really big dumbass either. I just think that he was very simple as a person, but I always thought his heart was in the right place. And, I always remember the 9/11, man, the look on his face when they told him. And, there's so much conspiracy theories on that. That'd be another thing one day to talk about. But do I think that it was an inside situation? I think that a lot of it was, yeah. And, but what it comes down to is we have bad people. Osama bin Laden, dude, this will stick in my head until the day I can't remember it, which I hope never happens. But one thing stuck in my head one time, Osama bin Laden said that we will use the ones even inside the United States. And he was talking about our government. But he said, we will not stop until the, I guess it would be the, whatever flag, man, would fly at the White House. That's what he said, man. And we are probably steps away from that. And I mean, I really look back and I think about the things that have been happening and everything else, with certain people. I mean, we had a president who was named after two of the biggest people, I'm saying, it was our, I mean, Barack Hussein, you know what I mean? And it's like, I just think about things like that, man. Now we're finding out that, Harris's parents and stuff, man, were, pretty much socialistic. I mean, didn't they? I think her dad was, teaching that. I think he was a professor of that, of socialism and stuff like that. And it's like, it all rides on that. But, there's got to be a reason, man. Nobody in their simple freaking mind would think that opening the borders up and just allowing whoever to come across that border, that we're just going to get Hispanics, South Americans. The hell is wrong? That the first thing that they're going to do, man, is every enemy we have out there is going to rush it. You know what I'm saying? Every enemy we have is going to send people across it. I mean, do you think that they don't already have stations set up throughout this country waiting for just somebody to give the word? You know what I'm saying? And that's scary as shit. And they think that we have it all under control. Well, dumbass, if you had it under control, you wouldn't have let them in to begin with. So, and old boy's right. It's all about money, man. It's all about money. And people will sell their own out for money. And I think that's what we're seeing on a very grand scale. I think that if we go over here to Iran or Israel, we go over there to help them. One did get through. I did hear that. Yeah, if we don't, I don't know, man. I mean, it's like, I don't want to go over there and pussyfoot around is what I'm saying. If we're going to go over there and we're going to help Israel, then go over there, set a drone strike up to take out every fucking facility and the palace and everything else, and just do it, man, and move on. Give the guys, give the country a time, get those crazies out of there, which they're always going to have crazy people. But if you keep knocking them down and taking them out, man, at some point in time, they're going to have kids down the line that are actually going to say this is bullshit, and they're going to, live peacefully. They were very close a couple times with that. But you got to have the right leadership, man, in this country. You got to have the right leadership over there. I really don't think Russia will get involved too much. They'll stand back and blab, as Putin always does. But you're exactly right, Hershey. He knows better than to screw with us, because they are. You're exactly right. They are still stuck in Cold War. Sure, they could fire on us with that, but, I haven't heard of any testing going on other than, deep water testing that they've done. Nothing else. So, I mean, I agree with the China thing too. They're not gonna bite off the hand that feeds them, and that's just how I feel about it. I think I think all of this stuff going on that we're seeing playing right out in front of us, not only is it biblical, but also people are more worried at election time right now about, bankruptcies or, stuff to do with, adult film freaking, actors, and how many Diet Cokes one somebody drinks and shit like that and that, and nobody's looking at us in a worldview. They're looking at us in a, just right here. They're not looking at the whole spectrum, not looking at the whole thing. Just like talking, dude, my friends from Ireland, we were talking about it last night, man, when we were driving out to an investigation, and the two, Chris and them asked, they said, who's the better choice? And I said, well, what do you guys think? And they said, oh, Trump. Exactly what they said, They were like, he said, they're being affected. Dude, a pack of cigarettes over there is $30. $30 for a pack of cigarettes, and they're a little bit over $5 a gallon for gas. So, but they were talking about that. They're like, it was kind of like Chris, he made a statement that when Trump was in office, they would laugh at some of the shit that he would say and stuff like that, but they also knew that he was a straight up business guy, and that you could rely on his word with business, a lot more than you could the others, because there was all these other people kind of in the ears of the other leaders that we've had before him. But another thing they brought up, man, and I remember this, was there was a couple guys that were in the office one time, or during a meeting with Trump and one of the leaders over there. And I believe it was from Iran. And I know it was Hamas, I'm pretty sure. And, they had a translator, and one of these guys was a translator, and pretty much Trump told this guy, if they did not let our troops out without any kind of, they didn't want any kind of resistance. They just wanted to bring the troops home. But if we had any resistance and one of ours got killed, that he'd blow the fucking house up. And he told them what their address was, or whatever he told them. Your house looks like this, or whatever. Anyway, he made sure they knew that he knew where the fuck they lived at. And this translator didn't want to translate it. But the thing was, man, we got to that point, and then COVID hit and stuff like that. To me, that's the kind of leadership we need right there. We need somebody that's just going to say, hey, yes, everybody wants world peace, but you have to look at it with logical reasoning, man. There's never going to be world peace completely, because you're always going to have idiots like the fucking Iranians that are going to be out there that are just completely off the rocker, and they're going to just always go after somebody. But it all comes down, man, to simply land that they're fucking fighting over, man. I mean, that's what it comes back to. The British owned it. Then they tried to do a declaration for them to split it. The Arabics didn't want it. Jewish said, okay, we'll take this little plot over here. It's all greedy, man. So what does that sound like? Sounds a little bit about like what we got going over here on one side of the spectrum. Greed, greed, greed. But anyway, that's my thoughts. I think I'm right along with you, James, about just go over there, take them out, but do it where less, just, I know we can do it, man. We have the drones, we have the technology to go over there and collateral damage be almost nothing. And I think that's what we got to do, because if you're just going to stand there and think that talking to a narcissistic fucking crazy person is going to actually work, then, that just gives them more time to get ready for the next time they're going to shoot shit. My opinion.
If you're sitting in your house, you're hanging out in your living room with your beautiful wife, you're watching TV, and you look over, there on the floor is a bunch of rattlesnakes. Now, if you sit there and say, oh shit, there's rattlesnakes on my floor, they're going to bite somebody eventually. Somebody's going to get near them fuckers, or they're going to come over here eventually and bite my ass. Should you just sit there and put your feet up and just continue watching TV? Or do you get up and you kill them fucking rattlesnakes so that they don't bite nobody? Safety is important. You want to be safe in your own home. You ain't going to be safe in your own home when you got a bunch of fucking rattlesnakes running around. You got to take them out, and then you'll be safe. Like Andy said, everybody wants world peace. You can't have world peace with a bunch of fucking rattlesnakes on the world scene. You got to take them out. Once you take them out, we can all kumbaya together. We can all run around naked and slap each other's ass. I don't care what the fuck we do. But you got to take out the rattlesnakes first. They're going to bite your dumb ass. That's just the bottom line. And you're never going to... I also don't buy into the whole collateral damage argument. I don't care. Because you're never going to not kill innocent civilians. And one thing when you're talking about, like, the Palestinians, how many of those people are actually innocent any fucking way? They elected Hamas. They support Hamas. They hide Hamas. Sounds to me like they're in league with Hamas, But the problem is, you're never, in any of these Middle Eastern countries, you're never going to be able to avoid civilian casualties because they hide in civilian centers. They literally put their ammunition and their weaponry and their soldiers in schools and hospitals and shit to try to protect them. So the way I look at it, if those people get killed, that's on them, dude. That's not on us. You shouldn't be fucking hiding in a hospital if you don't want us to blow up the hospital. That's the way I look at it. I don't care. My care, my priority, my worry is for the American people. That's who I care about. So if Palestinians get hurt, Palestinians get hurt. If Iranians get hurt, Iranians get hurt. They wouldn't even be in this situation if they just behaved their damn selves, but they don't. The Palestinians shoot rockets at Israel every day almost, for years and years and years, every single day. They have bomb shelters right beside playgrounds. Because at any moment, there could be rockets coming into the country to kill you. And the kids got to run off the playground into the bomb shelter. That's no way to live. And they've done that for years and years and years. With these fucking little pussies shooting rockets at them. And then always crying on the world stage, oh, Israel's bullying us. Fuck you, you're the one throwing the punches, dude. If you don't want to get your ass kicked, stop throwing punches. But they don't. They'll never stop. Until somebody fucking stops them. And that's the ugly truth of the matter. You're never going to have a negotiation that's going to fix this. You're never going to sit down with these idiots and say, how can we make this work? Because the only answer is every man, woman, and child in Israel dead. That's the only answer they'll take. But it's not just Israel. You might be one of those people that say, you know what? Fuck Israel. I don't care. That's not America. We don't care about Israel. You might be a person that says that, and if you are, that's fine. That's your opinion. But remember, Israel is the little Satan according to these people. We are the big Satan. I don't know where you went to school, but where I went to school, big is more important than little. Which means we're a bigger target than Israel would be. Which means they're not going to be satisfied with just taking out Israel. They'll be coming for us eventually too. At some point, we've got to stop believing that all these people are always lying. They are literally telling you, death to America. We are going to destroy you. They've said it over and over and over again. At what point do you people get it through your fucking head that that's what they mean? How many times do they have to attack us? How many times do they have to try to kill us before you fucking wake the fuck up? And you realize that these people are a fucking problem. And just like those fucking rattlesnakes that are in your living room, if you don't cut their goddamn head off, they will bite your stupid ass. It's not time to be nice anymore. Playtime is over, dude. I don't want to hold hands and skip down the fucking street with these people and have world peace. Fuck them. Enough is enough. I want to make sure that this country here that I love and that I live in is safe. For my children, for my grandchildren. And it never will be. As long as you have dumbasses over there that want to kill us all. And you have idiots here, including the dumb fucks that are in charge right now, that want to side with them. And side against their own people. Because that's another thing that's happening that you people need to wake up and understand. They opened that border up. And they allowed like 20 million people to come in illegally. Knowing damn well that they were letting in terrorists and very dangerous people. There have been over 150 people documented that have come over that border that are on the terror watch list. That means those people aren't even supposed to be able to get on a plane. They're so dangerous. But they're here. And that's just the people we know about. And I submit to you that the number that we know about is a small fraction of the number that got across that we don't know about. How many terror cells are now here, ready to strike, ready to kill you, ready to kill your children? Because these Democrat fucking traitors in office now let them here. They let them in. And they knew they were here. And they still haven't closed the fucking border. They know they're coming in. They don't care. They know that they're letting in murderers, rapists, child sex offenders. Do you know how many fucking child sex offenders they have let in this country? There's been hundreds and hundreds that have been convicted here in this country of child sex crimes. Not to mention all the thousands and thousands that are here that haven't been caught yet. They know these people are here. They're not closing the border, are they? They're talking about giving these fucking people citizenship. That's what amnesty is. They want to let these people stay, even though they're murdering and raping our people. Your daughters are being abused in this country by those fucking people. And Kamala Harris and Joe Biden knew they were letting them in. And as we speak right now, there's a vice presidential debate happening right now. And that cocksucker Tim Walz is talking about amnesty again. and saying that if you're not for it, you're not a good person. You're not compassionate. So in order to be compassionate, I have to allow these fucking criminals to come over here and rape and kill my daughter? Fuck you. Wake up. All right, so I think everybody's had their say. I think we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. So thank you guys for watching. I'm going to throw over to Old Boy and then Andy to get their shout outs, and then we'll sign off.
I want to thank everybody for listening to the show on Spotify and YouTube. I want to give a shout out to everyone who listens to us. I want to give a shout out to everybody who follows Staring into the Abyss, Tales of the Abyss, We're Screwed, Vapor, and Shadows Pit. East Coast, West Coast, California, Virginia, Pennsylvania. I want to thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening to us. I know we're very controversial, but you know what? Like I've always said, I'd rather have us fighting and other people blowing each other up. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you guys all for following everything we're doing, especially our future projects that we are talking about a lot lately. We really much appreciate you guys. And we'll be back next week for more shit talking and controversial, pissing people off, because that's what we do. And we're good at it. Motherfuckers. Have a good night.
I think what we represent really, man, is we represent all aspects of different voices in America, and that's what it's supposed to be about anyway. But we should be pissed off about some of this stuff. We should really be pissed off about some of it. But anyway, to get off that, my shout out, I want to give my shout out to the ones that were just devastated with this storm, man, for being tough individuals. Shout out to the people, the rescuers, the first responders, the electric companies, electricians. It hit it home, man. It hit it home. My house for sure. My oldest son's grandfather lives in Chimney Rock right outside Asheville. And there is no more Chimney Rock. I'll just put it to you like that. I could share a picture where 2 days prior to this happening, you're seeing a street full of people at all these restaurants and a couple other stores, and I'll show you what happened after that, and there is no restaurant or stores or nothing. I mean, when I say there's nothing, guys, nothing. And Jared's grandfather retired, had a home there in Chimney Rock already, or a summer home, but they moved in there permanently. And literally you walk out on his back deck and it sits above, beautiful place, man, sits right above, some of the white water that the river has. Now it's only about the size of a creek, but it's still, anyhow, they've lost it. The house, I guess you could say the structure's still there. The house itself got moved about 2 foot away from it moved about 2 feet because obviously the chimney's still there, but the house is sitting about 2 to 3 yards further away now. But the responders got there quick, man. They, Jared's grandmother passed quite a few years ago. He remarried a wonderful woman, Alice, and they're all about, their pets, all about the dog they have. And kind of pissed me off a little bit. So might be much of a shout out, but the first responders that they had to try to airlift them out of there didn't want to take the animals. And Danny decided to stay behind and not, plus he was watching his neighbor's 2 dogs and they would not leave them. And so finally they did get them out of there. Everybody's safe when it comes to my people that were not safe. But I have friends in South Carolina, man. One I just talked to before the show, She's been out of power since like last Wednesday or Thursday and looking to go another week, maybe. So a shout out to those people who have toughed it out, and the responders who have went to great measures, man, and put their own lives in risk. And we have lost one or two already, responders. And that's a shout out to them. A shout out to something like this happening to show the true American heart, because people were not worried about, Democrat or Republican at that point in time, and helping each other. And that's what it's all about. And so my shout out goes out to all of them for toughing it out for the first responders, saving lives, man. And the shout out goes also to the families who've lost some people because of this. And, my heart's with them. The people who've lost everything they've owned, just, it's terrible, man. I started seeing pictures come in, and I just was totally distraught until we heard from Danny and them. But to see somewhere that I've been just not there anymore. So shout out to the ones that are going to have a while, man, recovering from this.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty, man. It's terrible. Hopefully somebody can wake Biden up, and maybe he'll get FEMA involved and they'll actually get off their asses and do something to help those people. That'd be wonderful. I don't have a lot of hope that it'll happen anytime soon because they're a fucking train wreck, but hopefully. But the last thing I'll say on the Iran situation before we wrap this sucker up is we didn't even talk tonight about the fact that Iran is openly calling for the assassination of Donald Trump. Okay, that is an act of war. Somebody who was our president and who is the Republican nominee running for president again, and most likely will become the president again. And a foreign nation is openly calling for their assassination and planning for it. And for all we know, could have had something to do with both of those attempts at an assassination on it. It's very likely. Proof isn't there yet, but a lot of people are saying that in the government. So that's an act of war. It's at some point we got to do something about it. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. Let us know down in the comment section what you think. As always, up to you to make up your own mind, and I will catch you on the next one. Till we speak to you again. Love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do we. Bye-bye.